Hey, everybody. This is a wonderful trip down memory lane today as we chat with AudioCodes, who are helping shape the Microsoft ecosystem around unified communications and collaborations. And an old employer of mine going back 15 plus years. Well, gosh, I feel old. Giddy, how are you?
Good, Ivan. Happy to be here. And yeah, time goes by quickly, right? So,
It does indeed. And thanks for joining. For those folks who maybe aren't familiar with AudioCodes, how do you describe yourself these days?
so I think many people out there know AudioCodes as, and rightfully so, as a voice company, right? We've been doing enterprise voice technology for just over 30 years now. A lot of focus on the Microsoft ecosystem, which I'm sure we'll be talking about. Selling to enterprises out there worldwide. Service providers. Interestingly, past few years we've been, growing this new generation of products and solutions, moving from more kind of voice connectivity solutions like your media gateways or SBCs, session border controllers, to a more of the application area. So a lot going on for us lately in AI, specifically conversational AI, contact center. But I'm sure we'll be talking all about that soon. So
We will indeed. I look forward to diving in. And AudioCodes has been aligned with Microsoft since the early days of Microsoft Voice. When I was at AudioCodes, it was Skype for Business, for those who might remember that, which became, Link and OCS. So you've had a long-term partnership with Microsoft. How has it evolved, and what does it look like today?
yeah, that's a great question to get us started, even because back in the days when we took that strategic decision to, put our bets on the Microsoft ecosystem for enterprise voice, let's say that it wasn't such a trivial decision back then. It was a Cisco and Avaya world, and Microsoft was that company that does Office and Word, Excel, PowerPoint. So to think about Microsoft and voice back then was pretty wild. But just like you said, Microsoft has made a long way in this in its journey. Evolved from OCS to Link, Skype for Business, and now Teams, which as of today, I'm sure many of our viewers here know very well that Teams is by far the leading the UCaaS area in by magnitude. So that decision turned out, I'd say, pretty great for us. For us, it's kind of, we became this company that fills literally any gap that exists around Teams. So if you're talking about, first of all, the basic connectivity, direct routing as a service, and then you got phones, meeting room devices, recording, AI meeting assistants, and these days even certified contact center solutions. So pretty wide portfolio of solutions that we have going on around the Microsoft ecosystem. It's the biggest ecosystem today, so we're definitely happy about that, making that call.
Yeah, certainly the bet has paid off as Microsoft has, as you said, solidified its lead and its dominant player by a mile. So let's talk about how AudioCodes fits in the Microsoft phone ecosystem. What is your role, supporting those Fortune, 1,000 companies with Microsoft?
Right. So yeah, you got all these enterprises, since COVID and until today, our biggest fish, I would say, is helping those business fish, if you will, is to let's help those enterprises migrate their, telephony from whatever legacy phone system they have to a Microsoft Teams phone. The thing is that when you come to Teams phone, I mean, needless to say, it's great, it's robust, it gives you all the flexibility you need when it comes to hybrid work and all of that. But then there are some, I would call it gaps or just areas that, we as a close Microsoft partner can come in and play a pretty significant role. So again, it starts from just basic connectivity and being able to provide that, in an enterprise grade fashion, carrying our reputation around stability and good level of delivery for that area. First and foremost, you need it to work, right? But then, like I said previously, you got other necessities. First of all, you got people need phones. People need Teams, certified phones. People need meeting room devices. People need compliance recording. People need contact center. All these stuff are things that, are not a native part of the Microsoft Teams phone ecosystem. And we as AudioCodes come into those gaps and, doing a pretty nice job at being able to really cater for all of those needs at once, right? So some people made a statement that as of today, we as AudioCodes have actually the widest portfolio of Microsoft certified solutions. So I believe that speaks for itself in our ability to really, fill up any potential hole that there is when it comes to, okay, I'm an enterprise, I'm now transitioning to Teams phone. What's missing? How can AudioCodes help me? We literally got all the answers for that. So that's the idea.
That's fantastic. And I remember when I was in the space with AudioCodes 15 plus years ago, everyone was predicting the death of voice connectivity, voice communications. Of course, that didn't happen, just the opposite. But, you're now a leader in the voice area, but you're getting into new areas like AI meeting assistants and contact centers. How do you see yourself positioned to succeed in those newer spaces?
Yeah, so I think that's another really cool example to another, I'd say, a pretty early strategic view of ours. Interestingly, we've been dealing with conversational AI technologies ever since 2016, 2017, where people were still like, is this even going to work, right? Speech recognition back then was not such a reliable technology, but we definitely identified that, for so many years, we laid down all these, I like to call them voice pipes, right? Voice infrastructure within enterprises, between enterprises, with service providers, and so on. And with conversational AI technology came a pretty interesting concept of how can we kind of harvest or bring more value from the voice traffic that we already carry, right? To just bring more value to our customers. So, back then in 2016, 17, we started that area of focusing the company. Today, with all, with large language models and GPT and all of that, it's, we no longer need to explain why we did that. I think that's clear by now. But the good news are that we've been there again for quite some time already. So as of today, we already got about 100 engineers that are, purely focused on conversational AI only. So that puts us in a pretty good position, as, all these large language models start to come out, and there are so many applications you can build around it. But you kind of need to know what you're doing around it. And that's good news for us because we already, accumulated quite a lot of knowledge around it.
I bet.
Yeah.
Well done. And one of your AI-driven solutions is called Meeting Insights. There are many AI meeting assistants out there. I have one recording this conversation now and transcribing it. But what makes Meeting Insights unique? Why should a business take a look at it?
Yeah, so you're definitely right, Ivan, that there are tons of AI meeting assistants out there. It's almost like its own pandemic, right? A pandemic born out of a pandemic. So, I mean, lately, and by the way, speaking of any new enterprise application, one of my favorite concepts lately to talk about is the difference between features and experience, right? Because, I mean, if we did kind of an exercise, right, you and I, and let's say we took, I don't know, 50 AI meeting assistants and mapped them all on a feature table, we would probably find little to no difference between the different solutions, right? They all record, they all transcribe, they all extract insights in some form or fashion, they all distribute these insights in some form or fashion. So to examine these solutions from a feature standpoint is almost became pointless at this point in time. And so for us with Meeting Insights, it's all about how we deliver those features, right? And what's the experience that we give around it. So, obviously when we think about AI meeting assistants, typically people naturally think about Copilot, right? Something like Copilot. And the way that we like to kind of explain the role that Meeting Insights is here to serve in the world is that while Copilot or other assistants are more aimed for the individual, right, that might have missed a meeting, wants to go back and, skim through it and so on. With Meeting Insights, we're more focusing on the organizational experience of it, right? So me as a manager, I'm leading a business line here, Voca CIC, and there are only so many meetings that I can attend. Now, there are other meetings that I knew that were happening, but I couldn't attend. But guess what? There are a bunch of other meetings that I didn't even know that take place, right? And my solution is being discussed in those meetings. So I like to call that the unknown unknowns, right? There's a known unknown and there's an unknown unknown. And in that sense, Meeting Insights does a very, it's really, really helpful in being able to surface different insights that I care about as a manager. So for me, it kind of became, I like to call it kind of a digital hallway that allows me to just know whenever someone in the company is out there talking about the solution that I manage. Meeting Insights helps me a lot in understanding, what's going on, what was discussed today, what was discussed a week ago when I was on a work trip abroad, and so on. So for us, that's the real value is in providing the experience in the organizational level rather than just focusing on the individual.
Really powerful. And that's part of your CCaaS solution that's integrated with Microsoft Teams. It's pretty interesting. So how did you decide to enter the contact center space, and how do you see yourself fitting in CCaaS very fast-growing market?
Yeah, it's a super exciting market, and we get that a lot, right? Voca has been getting quite some traction lately. It won, the best Teams contact center award by CX Today earlier this year. And we released a bunch of case studies around it the past few months. But the number one question we get is, your AudioCodes, you're an SBC company. Mm. What are you even doing in the contact center area? And what I always like to say is, here's one thing that didn't happen. We never sat in a dark room and said, let's build a contact center solution. Actually, what we did is, this was purely customer driven. And I think, by the way, that goes also for Meeting Insights or any other application that we're working on these days. One of our most important advantages, I think, in my opinion, is in being able to have a real direct touch with customers and be able to bring a solution that really meets their specific needs. We don't need to guess what they want or not. We work hand in hand with the customer to bring the best possible solution out there. So with Voca, it's, like I said, we started investing in conversational AI long ago. We had a very good conversational IVR solution, but so many of our customers were like, conversational IVR is great, but I'm not going to have another solution aside to my contact center. But everyone told us, you know what? If you bring the AudioCodes delivery standards to that area of contact center, that's going to be very interesting for us. So, that's kind of what we did. And we went and worked with Microsoft Azure Communication Services to achieve a very interesting and innovative way of integrating with Microsoft Teams using an Microsoft Azure SDK, very clean topology, very good uptime and reliability. So really bringing a lot of, I like to call it the AudioCodes engineering DNA into that area of contact center where uptime, reliability really matters, right? And then, of course, with that, we brought all of our conversational AI goodies that we bring as a completely built-in component of that solution. And yeah, it's been super exciting for us. We've been deploying this for pretty large enterprises out there. Some of them are Fortune 50 enterprises. Our largest deployment with Voca as of today is U.S. roadside assistance service, where we handle 2.5 million monthly calls. So making a very nice progress with it, and super excited, with everything that's yet to come. And of course, we will also blend, I mentioned meeting insights earlier, and, the ability to extract insights from a call. For sure, we'll be looking to bring that also to Voca CIC entering 2025.
Well, fantastic. Great to see innovation on that front. Speaking of which, AudioCodes is known for its sort of engineering DNA and deep engineering bench. Looking ahead, what are you excited about as we get into 2025? What might we be able to expect in terms of AI and Teams and beyond?
Sure. So first of all, definitely a lot more AI, right? We like I said, we've been there for quite some time, and now it's our time to kind of hit on that, leverage our long investment in this. So a lot more AI in the form of both additional features that will come to existing solutions like Voca. I just mentioned, for example, agent call summarization based on large language models and so on. But also in the form of kind of siloed applications that solve a very specific problem. So, for example, a Q&A bot, a question and answer bot that, pretty much any enterprise customer would want one on their, website and so on, being able to deflect more calls, more structured calls, more of the boring calls, right, off of the live agents over to bots. So again, bringing AI as features, but also as standalone applications that handle a specific use case. And aside to AI, because everyone are doing a lot of AI, we're also very excited about continuing to enable, I'll call it untapped areas of the existing market. And people might ask, what do I even mean? What's left untapped in this point in time? Well, if we think about contact center, for example, we have a very large community of what we like to call informal agents. Microsoft calls them citizen agents, right? People who reside in a legal department, in a security team, in a travel desk. They're not full-time agents, but they need contact center features. They need intelligent routing. They need recording. They need reporting, CRM integration, all that stuff. So definitely that's one very exciting area that we're looking a lot on and looking to expand and evolve. And then also frontline employees. And I cannot elaborate. We will be making an announcement around that area with in the next few months. But basically, if we think about frontline employees, this is a community that's very underserved, right? They need a lot, and they're not getting feature-wise, capability-wise, they're a bit neglected. And we're thinking a lot, as part of Voca, as part of other solutions in the company. What can we do to bring more of all these, UCaaS goodies or AI goodies and so on also to frontline employees that, can definitely use that, but they just need a different kind of access to those capabilities. So that's another area that we're thinking a lot about. And and also definitely, like I said before, a lot of thought about a better experience, right? Again, at this point in time for us, features are commoditized. We are not going to proclaim that we will bring a technology that no one else can bring. It's no longer these days, but definitely we will continue to invest a lot in listening to our customers and bringing solutions that make a perfect fit to our customer community.
Well, it's a great strategy. So much opportunity for growth. And speaking of which, I see you guys everywhere, in the event side and various Microsoft events, channel partner events. What are you looking forward to the rest of the year out in the marketplace?
You mean event-wise?
Yeah, events, meetups, get-togethers. What are you personally looking forward to? What's on your radar?
Yeah, so by the way, I think Enterprise Connect AI starts today. Not today, then tomorrow. And we are a headline sponsor there. We came with a booth. We have a speaking session. It's
Great.
the first time that Enterprise Connect does an AI-focused event. So that one is very interesting for us. Really looking forward to see what's going on there. There's a bunch of events in Europe as well, like UC Expo, that we've been there for every year in the past few years by now. We're also doing an AudioCodes focused, like an event for focused on our partner community in APAC. That's something that will be taking place late November. And then, of course, there's Microsoft Ignite. We started this conversation today with, how deeply connected we are as AudioCodes to Microsoft. So, of course, those of you will be in Ignite for sure. We'll be there as well with our full portfolio. So yeah, a lot going on, and all of our global teams are, there's always all these events, and we're just like you said, Ivan, we're just trying to be any place that discusses Teams and the Microsoft ecosystem. It's a solid bet to find us, to expect to find us there.
And I'm sure I'll see you there. Congratulations on all the success, onwards and upwards, and congratulations to you and the whole team from Shabtai, Lior, and all your amazing colleagues. Thanks so much for joining.
Thank you for having me, Ivan. It's been great to see you. And looking forward to seeing you at one of the events coming up. Thank you.
Thanks so much. And thanks everyone for watching. Take care.